Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you this layout based on week 6 of Allison Davis's sketches for 6x6 paper pads. So her sketch, the stripes actually run horizontally across the top of the page, and there are 3 photos, a 3x4, 2 3x4s, and a 2.5-inch square. I just have this one 6x4, 4x6, and my picture runs vertical, and so I decided that I was going to rotate the sketch and have the stripes go down the side of the page so that I could create a little bit of a rainbow ocean per se. So I am not using 6x6 paper pads very clearly. I am using scraps. So I have scraps from American Crafts from Margarita is the name of the collection from 2010. I have some, oh, that green is Bella Boulevard. The blue is Tuesday Morning Stash from Crate Paper. The other blue is probably from like 2000. KI Memories, maybe. I don't even think it's KI Memories. I can't remember the name of that collection. That little stripe there is the Margarita, and then there's some little yellow bicycle is the rainbow stripe that on the diagonal. The yellow polkas are Dear Lizzie. It's a birthday collection with the Dalmatians. I don't remember the name of it. And so basically what I'm doing is I've got the blues are cut using a digital cut file from LA Studio. So it's from this month's digital files, and those are going to create the waves for my fishies because this is so the layout is titled Awesome Achievements. My son is holding his placards from last year's awards. So we do our swim awards from short course season to the end of long course season, and so we're coming up, I think, in July or August to the end of long course season, and so we were not here for the award ceremony. This is the first year we were not here, and so he was given them after the fact, and so here are the pictures of him getting his awards. So these dies are also probably from 2010. They're forever old. I don't know who they are. This is before I labeled things. They're probably, I don't even know. I'm not even going to take a guess at it. But I wanted to put little fishies behind the waves just because this is my big fishy, tall, skinny fishy. So I'm digging for some red. I want red for the stars. So in the sketch, there's a journal spot that is what would be on the left-hand side here. And there's some stars there. And then there are some stars around the photos as well. And so I'm going to use my LA Studio dies for some stitched stars, and I'm going to do 3 different sizes. Originally I do 2 of these big ones you can see, but the big stars are just too much. They're overpowering. They're bigger than his head, they're bigger than the placards, and they kind of just become all you look at. It's a busy enough layout as it is. With those stripes going down the side, and so I wanted a little less distracting on the rest of the page there. So you can see I've got the 3 different size stitched stars, and they are going to be sprinkled in a visual triangle across the layout. So that triangle is going to move from the photo on the top right down to the bottom right of the photo through the title, which will come to that bottom left star where the journaling is going to be, and then back up to the top there. So it moves your eye, guides your eye around the somewhat busy layout there. So I did all of the die cutting at once, get that out of the way. I've got all of my central elements for my layout. Now I just need to fine tune it all. A, adhere it, and then B, fine tune it. And so I will skip through parts of this because you do not need to see me put adhesive down on every single strip. But I do get frustrated because the strips are like not all 6 inches wide. So I'm going to line them up against my T-square. And in order to hold my T-square where everything's going to get aligned, I'm using some of my Thermoweb purple tape because it is repositionable tape. And then that way I have a clean border down the right-hand side, and I can trim everything that's hanging over the left-hand edge there. I do have those blue stripes because of the waves are slightly larger than 2 inches, and I wanted it that way intentionally so that they would overlap the strip above, so that you had that seamless transition of lines that move up and down the page there. So that is that is completely based on the sketch. And then also on the sketch there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thin 1/4 inch strips that subdivide some of the strips there. And they are striped, and I am sticking with the stripes. I've put everything on, I've just put everything on the running horizontal instead of vertical on the page there. I liked, I thought it was a fun way to create a sort of a mini scene per se with this particular photo. I use fishies for my little fishies, although he's not a little fishy anymore. He graduates on Wednesday and goes off to college in 2-3 months. It's just crazy, 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 crazy times. Anyway, so the stripes, these little strips, 1/4 inch strips, they are, I'm trying to put them so that you can see them, and they have a little bit of a border underneath or above, and subdivide some of those colors. It just adds a little bit more visual interest to the page. I don't like it on those hearts, the red hearts, because it's very busy already, but it does work nicely on that diagonal rainbow stripe there. So I've got all of my elements there for that central background, and I'm just going to trim everything off so that I have a nice clean edge. So you've got 6 inches of border on the left hand side, and then you've got 6 inches of that clean white on the right hand side there. So I've pulled some cards from Ellie's studio. I have many pocket cards, and instead, so I thought that would provide the perfect journaling. And the reason I went with this notes from today is because it incorporates all of the same colors that I've got, but it also gives you that other big white space so that I can journal, and it also pulls the white space from the right hand side to that left hand side of the layout. I wanted to put a few layers to just give some delineation behind it, but I've already got a lot of that really dominant dark weight of the blue. So I get rid of the blue card and I just use the yellow card there. Again, it's just a subtle layer. Because it is busy, it really truly doesn't need a whole lot there. I am using my trimmer to trim off the excess of the card that's hanging over the edge there. Because of all of the angles, the horizontalness of those stripes, I do put the photo and the journal card just slightly askew, just for a little bit of asymmetry on the page. I thought I'd use that big star and overlap it behind the photo, or tuck it in behind the photo, and there's something about it. I know people tuck in their elements, but I'm gonna tuck the fish in, but there's something about the star that I don't like partial stars. Like, to me, even though I know you finish them off in your head, I just don't like it. So this is new foam tape from Thermo Web. It was part of their CHA, which is now Creativation in January release. And so I have written down the start date that I use this. In fact, I think this day that I created was the day that I first started using this, and I'm interested to see how long it lasts, because I use a lot of foam. As you can see, I'm going to back 2 of these stars with foam. And is it just the 2? I'm looking underneath them now. No, I actually back all 3 of the stars with foam. Again, just for a little bit of dimension. So I found a glassine bag to put underneath my photo, not because I want to tuck anything in there, but more just I like the way that it pops off the page. While I'm popping the stars off the page, because of I feel like I need a little bit more depth given the busyness of the scene that I've created over on the left-hand side. So pulling the backings off and popping those, and that is, so the sketch has a long title, which mine is long. I just have 2 words instead of the number of words that Allison has put, and she is also using stars, and so I am going to also use stars as well, just because it's a celebration, and you know, what celebration doesn't include stars? Ow! Cat! Sorry, she just bit my foot. So I want to pop these little fishies up and give them just a little bit more of a dimension. You saw I had my ink pad and I thought maybe I would do that. But because this is a rather clean layout, I decide to outline the fish instead, and I'm using my gel pens. And then I'm going to just pop 3 of them in there. I kind of liked the big one, you'll see. And I wish I can always take out one of the smaller ones and put in one of the big ones. It creates a little bit of balance to that. See, to that big star there. In fact, I wish there was an in-between size, which I don't have. I could cut it, but yeah. And I am off camera going to put these just teeny tiny little gold decorations. You'll see them for little eyes. They're super, super subtle. I'm working on the title now, so a lot of stash bashing here. These are Jilly Bean soup words, and then I am going to off camera, I'm going to use one of my many rollers, stamp rollers, and stamp high 5 in green, red, and yellow around the page, and you'll see that in the close-ups. I'm also going to put a rainbow banner tag on the right hand side and stamp proud of you with one of my Ellie Studio. It's the Good Times tab stamp, I think, and that rainbow thing will house the date. You'll see that. I just felt like I needed a little something. I like the white space, but it needed a little something on the bottom right hand side to just kind of pull it together, and that adds a second triangle to the visual triangle that I've created. You'll see what I mean. So these are also super old from my stash from when I went to CHA way back in like 2000 and I don't know, 2019 maybe, 2018 possibly. So these are from Pink Fresh Studio. And I thought maybe I might use those green letters, but it's the wrong green. So I'm going to, I always resort back to my Ellie Studio and my Jane C alphas, Puffy Janes. And so I happen to have 2 sets, and that gives me the M that I need for achievements. And believe it or not, I am not going to do the Suzanna title shuffle. It is actually all going to go down in one foul swoop. Proud of me. And so Awesome Achievements ends up being the title, and I'm going to journal about that on the left hand side there. I believe that is everything that I end up doing. I do use one of my Ellie Studio star stamps, again from that Good Times tab stamp, and stamp in a few red stars, just to, again, for a little bit more of that bright red that's throughout the page to continue that visual triangle, and you'll see that in the close-up. So again, I am using a Allison Davis sketch for sketches for 6x6 paper pads, and this is week 6. I have amended it and made it my own, as I am wanting to do. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. The full layout and close-ups are coming. Enjoy those. Thanks for stopping in today. Come back tomorrow for Sarah Scraps and I, possibly Christy, for our Boys to Men, and it is the letter P. See you soon. Take care.